And we learned from Ferrari that there's a warrant on Porco. They want to seize his plane and arrest him. And he tells them, come back, join the Air Force. I can still get you in. You won't go to jail. And he says, better a pig than a fascist.
Such a good line.
Message.
Such a good line.
Hugo's not here to say it.
Yeah.
Message. Hey, welcome back to the Black and White Cinema Podcast with Kev and Ugie. I'm Kev.
I'm not Ugie.
And once again, we find ourselves without my better half, but never fear, we welcome Maseo to the show, a voice you have heard behind the cameras on every episode, and we're happy to show you his face today.
Yep. Long-time caller, first-time listener.
Mace, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
I thought that we would introduce you to the audience a little bit for our intro today, so I'm curious about your encyclopedic knowledge of random movies. Tell me about how you fell in love with movies. And
Yeah, I'm chronically online, and I am exposed to a bunch of people telling me that I have no idea, that I've never met before, telling me about movies that I should see, and naturally I am curious. And also, I have a debilitating consumerist mindset. I love collecting movies. I don't like watching them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I'm also a consumer, unfortunately. It is what we what we are, our lot in life, I guess.
Yeah, the spirit of John Adams has corrupted my soul.
Yeah. Cool. So the movie we're doing today is Porco Rosso. When I asked Mace to be on with me to cover for Ugo, I told him, you can pick the movie. He sent me a list of 6. I had seen 4 of the 6. This was one of the ones I had not. But at the birthday party I was at, 20 to 30 minutes after I got your text, a guy starts talking to me about Porco Rosso and what a great movie it is. And I was like, the universe is telling us that we need to watch this movie. And
they have impeccable taste.
Right. Yeah. I also got him to subscribe. So, Miles, hope you're watching.
You're a real one.
Yeah, since we just talked about it a couple days ago. Great meeting you. Thanks for putting me onto a great movie. Before we get fully into a single Miyazaki movie, I have to do what is becoming a trope on this podcast, where I admit this is only the second Miyazaki movie that I've ever seen.
What was the first one?
Totoro.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen Totoro.
Really?
I know it's the one that everyone has always seen first, but my first Miyazaki movie was Castle in the Sky.
Okay.
Shout out to Uncle George. He was the one that introduced me to that on a very dark and stormy Saturday night.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think when I was a kid, I saw the beginning of Princess Mononoke, and it scared me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, nope. I had nightmares and I noped out of there. I never finished it. So
kind of a terrifying movie.
Yeah, that's all I remember. There's like a boar or something in the beginning.
It's a demon god.
Yeah. So I was not a fan of that. Had a lot of nightmares as a kid. I was not ready for that. But I'd like to thank you for getting me into my second Miyazaki movie. And I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorites.
I don't know how you could not enjoy this movie.
It's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, I think even if you don't like anime and you give yourself permission to enjoy this, I think you will. I know people that are just like anime not interested.
Yeah. I think that's a very closed-minded kind of mindset. Anime is not exactly like a genre. It's a medium, it's just simply like a medium. And I think to just simply close yourself off due to the medium is like closing yourself to a huge portion of film in general.
Totally.
If you like movies, you should like animation. And I think you just need to go out there and find what you like.
Yeah.
Not gonna like everything, but
I think you're totally right. I also think anime is generationally viewed very differently.
Yeah.
Even I was talking about last week on Lebowski, my mom and her generation didn't a lot of people didn't get The Simpsons. They're cartoons for grown-ups. It's a kid's show, right? It's a cartoon. And I think when I was kid to tween getting into anime, it was not the cool thing. It was a nerdy thing that people would make fun of you for. And now it's
it's incredibly mainstream.
Cool. Very mainstream.
Oh yeah. I'm going to SakuraCon this weekend. And it's amazing just how big and popular it is, considering that I remember, I was only 5 at the time, but even back then, it was still very much a circle for weird nerds.
Yeah.
Especially by like the 2010s, like it was still becoming like coming out of its shell, but even then, like a lot of people were doing it like ironically.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I used to work at Nordstrom with your dad, a group of us.
Such a weird thing to say.
I know, right? A group of us, every time Comic-Con, SakuraCon, PAX, any of those things were going on, because we worked 2 blocks from the convention center, we would just make sure to go get lunch over there just to people watch.
Yeah.
See the cosplay and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's I went to Comic-Con once. I've been to PAX a bunch of times. My mom's worked PAX a bunch of times as an interpreter too. That's how I started going, was with her. It's very cool how people don't have to be ashamed of liking anime. And I think it's a great time to let it into your heart if you haven't yet. And I honestly think Miyazaki is a great place to start.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's like uplifting, it's beautiful, and it's very cinematic. The scenes could be shot with a camera. You know what I mean? That was something I was really noticing watching this.
It's a very dynamic camera. Something else I do appreciate is how a lot of the colors and the frames feel very impressionist, like very Monet-esque. The colors are kind of like soft. It's pleasing to the eyes. And I get that, like, of course, it's like a movie. Like, you'd be surprised by, like, especially with a lot of movies nowadays, especially those that they release on Netflix. Color is not something that they do enjoy.
That's true. Yeah. And even like modern, I don't know, shonen anime, you know, we were talking about JJK and Chainsaw Man, like it's much more stylized to manga. It's much brighter colors, a lot of contrast, whereas like
lots of effects.
Yeah. And like this, especially older stuff in general that was still hand drawn, but like Miyazaki specifically, it's very realistic, very like cinematics, like you were saying, soft kind of colors and everything. Yeah.
There's a classic, well, of course it's hand-drawn. It was released in 1992.
Right. Didn't have another choice.
Yeah. They had to, but there's a real humaneness to it, to the production, that I feel like digital kind of struggles to convey. It's the little metaphorical smudge of the fingers on like everything that tells you that like, oh, a human made this. It wasn't just made in a factory. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not pixel perfect motion and all that. It's very much just artwork. Raw human talent. Yeah. Yeah. And skill. Well, before we talk too much about the movie, we should probably introduce it a little bit. The synopsis, especially for those of you who haven't let anime into your heart, is gonna sound weird. Yeah. But so this film is set in a mid-war Italy swept by fascism. This is an anti-fascist movie. Spoiler alert. Better a pig than a fascist. Yeah, it's great to watch today, honestly. And we follow Porco Rosso, a bounty hunter with the face of a pig, who takes on the sky pirates terrorizing the Adriatic Sea. The movie data for you. The stars were Shuichiro Moriyama, Tokiko Kato, Akemi Okamura, and Akio Otsuka. In the English version, the stars you would recognize are Michael Keaton and Carrie Elwes. Susan Egan is also in there. You may recognize her from as Meg in Disney's Hercules. Okay. But she's been in other stuff. All right. Yeah. I didn't recognize any names other than Keaton and Elwes, so I jotted those down. So it was released July 18th, 1992 in Japan, December 16th, 1994 in the US. It is PG rated, the first PG movie on the podcast, I believe. Runtime, 1 hour, 34 minutes. Written and directed by Miyazaki-san. The numbers were hard to find because it's an older Japanese release. But according to the Ghibli wiki, the budget was $9.2 million. I don't have opening weekend numbers, but it was the #1 film at the box office in Japan when it released. And it was one of the most popular films of the year. These are all things that I learned. Also on the wiki, Japan box office gross was 58 million, so it was very successful. Oh, yeah. And distribution, it raked in another 22 million. And those are the numbers I was able to find. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 96%. Could easily be 100%. I don't know what that 4% was thinking. Comparing this to Princess Mononoke, I think some of the ideas aren't as interesting, again, compared to like Princess Mononoke. But still, like, it is, I don't understand like how it got those 4 bad reviews. Yeah. It doesn't. I can't say enough good things about this movie. So thank you for putting me on. Yeah. I don't know what you could ding it for. I really don't. It's well paced. It's beautiful. It's got a message.
What did that 4% of critics?
Yeah. If there's one detraction, I'd say it kind of like slows down a bit near the middle. If you want to go into like the plot or anything,
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if we hop around.
Yeah.
Because it's not it. I think that's most movies, though. I feel like there's usually this. It's not really
Descent in action.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a spoiler to kind of describe the journey, right? It's like you meet the hero, he gets beaten,
Yeah.
he licks his wounds, he goes and beats the guy, right? Like
Yeah.
that's how many movies have we seen like that? So
Yeah,
I don't.
It's a classic Rocky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the pacing is great. I think the retreat or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Is
it
important.
slows down after like high octane action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I could excuse someone for going into it thinking like, oh, sweet, this is just going to be a fighter pilot
Yeah.
romp, and then it's a little slower than that.
Yeah. It's like a very meditative movie, I'd say,
Mhm.
which is an interesting choice for a PG movie.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of, I'd say, kids' movies are very focused more on like keeping the kids' attention on like, just because it's PG doesn't mean it has to be necessarily for kids.
Sure, I get what you
But I think that this being accessible towards that demographic, I think that opens up a lot of like avenues for a kid to develop like new
Totally.
ideas and stuff like that.
I really think if I had seen this as a kid, I would have enjoyed it. Like
Oh yeah.
just as much. I was obsessed with Totoro, which is why it's kind of ironic that I haven't seen any other Miyazaki stuff. Before we kind of get into the recap, we like to play What's the Symbology there? Talk about themes and symbolism from the movie. I didn't tee you up that you were going to have to prep for this. So.
I actually thought about this heavily.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. What do you got for us?
So what I had in my mind was how or why Porco is, why does he look like a pig in the first place? And obviously it has to do with some level of cowardice. And I think, spoilers, Porco was a veteran of World War I. He was a fighter pilot. And during the last days of the war, he and his buddy, who he was a best man at his wedding, got into like a dogfight. And Porco ended up flying to escape. All of his buddies, including his friend, died. And he flew so fast and hard that eventually, like, he ended up in a sea of whiteness. And he emerged to find all of his buddies and all of his enemies, like, flying up into a white band in the sky, which turned out to be like other pilots who died in the war. And I think that it symbolizes Porco kind of seeing himself as a coward, unworthy of like a peaceful end. He's a pig. He's a coward in a human skin. And it makes him unworthy of love or humaneness.
Right.
Which I think is very interesting because people around him, they love him. The girls swoon over him. Gina is constantly waiting to see him, to like embrace his love, to embrace her love. But Marco doesn't feel like he's worthy of that love, which I think is like a very important lesson to talk about, considering that there's a lot of people out there who kind of find themselves unworthy of love, even if other people do think that they're worthy of it. They see themselves as pigs, you know, when other people don't. And some people like love them for that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. It's his survivor's guilt becomes this curse that he places upon himself.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I'd say like the, not necessarily surface themes, but the more obvious themes of like anti-war, anti-fascism were what this movie was commenting on. But there is a lot of what you're saying of this self-imposed isolation, self-imposed kind of removal from community, from people who love you. And even like the offerings of return and having to choose to walk away from that. You know, you have both Gina and Fio in different ways giving him paths back out of this self-isolation, and he continues to choose to step back from it. And it's like you said, that is a universal thing. I think even people who don't fully self-isolate can relate to that feeling of not good enough or guilt or whatever would stop
self-loathing and self-deprecation are like very high nowadays, I feel like.
I mean, it's the basis of my comedy is self-deprecation.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to grow out of that, and I think like
it's tough.
It's hard because like on the one hand, you don't want to abandon that for fear of like, oh, if I like get too confident, my head is going to get
Right, a little
too big.
humility is good for
Yeah,
everybody.
I gotta be humble, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be all like, oh, I'm the worst, I'm terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a thin line.
Yeah, I'm just a pig.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't deserve love.
Yeah. Although, like, of course, you know, Porco Rosso, Marco has to be like the coolest pig on the Adriatic.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. He dresses fine. You know, he pilots a sweet red plane.
Yep.
You know, all the ladies love him. You know,
all the villagers know who he is.
Yeah,
and
everyone's cool with him.
And
he's always got like sick one-liners. Gotta fly, baby.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the plane part is because Miyazaki's a giant plane nerd.
Oh yeah.
And so it is very much a movie about a pig who flies planes, right?
Yeah, when pigs fly.
Yeah, yeah. I think the glamour of the planes and the glamour of being a fighter pilot that you see the kind of like common folk in the movie reacting to is an intentional veneer over what it's really about, which is self-isolation, regret, you know, this like dawning of moral protest, emotional armor that he puts himself through.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you know this, but actually Hayao Miyazaki's father, he used to run a plane manufacturing plant during World War II.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it kind of like, he delves more into that relationship in his other movie, The Wind Rises. But I've heard other commentators talk about how like Porco Rosso and a lot of his other movies is like his meditation on how great planes are, how wonderful they are, but also just like how kind of destructive they are. Planes were invented 1904. Barely a decade later, they started being used as like tools of destruction.
Right.
And which is especially its powerful imagery when like much of Japan was destroyed by aircraft.
Right.
You know, this thing that Hayao Miyazaki loves, that he loved from his father, were used as incredible tools of destruction.
Yeah.
You know, the atomic bombs were dropped by planes.
Right. And even not the atomic bombs, but Japan got hit by a lot of other bombs, a lot of other...
Yeah, and Japan like also delivered that destruction upon like places like China, the Philippines, and stuff like that. The worst destruction throughout World War II was committed by aircraft.
Yeah.
But there's such amazing things, you know? They're cool. They allow people to fly. They allow pigs to fly.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is just... And I think like Marco has like a similar kind of like dual relationship with planes.
Right. He needs to fly. It's this sense of freedom. It's what he was born to do.
Yeah.
But he has so much negative experience tied up in it because of that destruction.
Yeah. And also it kind of serves as like another form of like isolation.
Right.
You know?
Being
like,
solo in the sky.
His plane initially only has like one seat. And he's a solo bounty hunter, you know?
Right.
And then Fio installs like a second seat and flies with him.
And that's what starts melting the isolation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Symbolism, we talked about the pig form. I think Gina's garden and the hotel itself is very symbolic. This place of refuge.
Yeah.
Where all of these people who are fighting each other outside will agree to lay down arms and just enjoy some music.
Yeah. Just a bunch of people just learning to love each other.
Yeah.
And I think it also like is also a safe haven away from like the rising threat of fascism going on.
Right. The Adriatic in general. Kinda, we get a lot of hints of the economic depression, but it's a beautiful, peaceful place other than the Sky Pirates.
Yeah. But even then, the Sky Pirates are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like they don't really like hurt anybody.
Yeah.
They don't like harm the little girls or whatever that they take hostage.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, we got to take them, but we have to take all of them because we don't want to separate them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good intro to get us into the recap. Spoiler warning, go watch it. I think even if we talk about it, you should go watch it.
Go watch it. I'll go to your house and force you to watch it.
It's on HBO Max in both English and Japanese audio.
Yeah. Or you can engage in some sky piracy.
Yes, we got Captain Jack Sparrow here to encourage you to sail the high seas. Find your own way into this film. It is worth every second of the 84 minutes.
Yes.
We get a very cool stylized typewriter intro.
Oh, yeah.
In multiple languages, kind of setting up the world. I thought that was very cool, something I hadn't seen before. We immediately meet Porco at his oasis, I think is a fair phrase for it.
Yeah.
He lives in a
little lagoon.
Yeah. This beautiful blue water, sandy beach.
That's my ideal like future living situation.
Yeah, just unassuming little tent.
Yeah, little lagoon. I have like a little seaplane that I could ride out on.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Within the first
5 minutes,
2 minutes of him, getting the call that there are sky pirates and going and like cranking over the plane, getting it started. You can see that airplane nerddom of Miyazaki just immediately.
I like how it's a hunk of junk at first.
Right.
Yeah. Just like it's bleeding oil.
It's a tool.
Billowing smoke. It's very much like it's something that served him for a while. It adds a lot of character,
Yeah.
It's like how the Millennium Falcon is like a hunk of junk.
Exactly. That is a good parable.
Yeah.
It's very obviously well loved and
well loved and hated.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So he's going after some sky pirates. They attack a ship. Not really attack. They go rob a ship.
Yeah.
And take a bunch of kids hostage.
Yeah.
And take some money. The kids were cracking me up.
We're getting invaded by seaplane pirates. Yay!
Yeah. No sense of danger.
No sense
fully
of danger.
Down for the ride.
Yeah.
Climbing all over the pirates.
Yeah. It's very like classic cartoon. Like one of the seaplane pirates. Have you ever seen Popeye?
Yeah, like bits.
Yeah, like one of the seaplane pirate captains, he reminds me a lot of like Bluto from Popeye.
Mm-hmm. So
like I think it's very much trying to evoke that like, it's a classic 1930s, 1940s cartoon.
Yeah, I could totally see that. All of the children look identical too, and they all look like the younger kid from Totoro as well.
Yeah.
I love Porco. He catches up with the ship and all of the sailors are like pointing which way the pirates went, but he goes a different way because he knows that they're going to have to turn course after they get over the horizon. And there's a really cool map graphic of like him going this way, them going that way, and then hopping that way. It was very cool. The pirate's plane is also in visible disrepair and shit's like flapping around and rickety.
It's very much, that's a real hunk of junk.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It makes his look pristine in comparison.
Yeah.
The kids are just completely unfazed. And
I mean, if I was like, hanging out with a bunch of like chill sky pirates, I'd be kind of like, yeah, this is awesome.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
And Porco has no problem at all taking them down without hurting anybody, without risking the kids.
He's that good.
He's very good.
He doesn't miss.
He does not.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, it's fine, we're on the swim team. And
yeah, don't worry, guys. He also like charges the plane head on, knowing, or probably not even knowing that like their guns would jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not concerned. He has a sense of self-preservation, but he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
If he lives or dies.
Yeah. But he very much cares that the other people live.
Right.
Yeah.
He cares about the kids. He cares about the pirates not dying as well, too.
Yeah. And I kind of like how it's kind of like civil. Obviously, like at Gina's, they have like a truce or whatever, but like Porco lets them live. He even lets them off with some treasure in order to like pay off the repairs or whatever.
Right. Fix their ship. Yeah. He's very altruistic. He's doing this because he needs the money, and it's a way that he can pay the bills. He can keep the plane flying.
I mean, like, what else are you going to do as like a seaplane pilot fight in a war?
Right. Or
I don't think he doesn't want to do that. Air shows, maybe?
Take some crazy professor to a temple to try to get an idol or something.
Oh, yeah. That's a fan fiction. It's somewhere out there. If not, I'm ordering you.
We get this introduction to the hotel and to Gina. We see a bunch of pirates scheming how they can beat Porco by hiring an American. That's where we meet our main antagonist, Curtis. And, they're all embarrassed about asking an American for help.
Well, no, he's Italian on his mother's cousin's side.
Is that? Did I miss that part?
Yeah. They're like, the pirates of the Adriatic can't, like, ask an American for help. And then, like, one of Curtis's assistants was like, no, he is Italian on his, like, mother's cousin's side.
Nice. That explains the little mustache then.
Yeah. But he speaks in a thick Texan accent.
Yeah.
I love Curtis. I love how much of a big American doofus he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that he's a movie star.
Prototypical Hollywood,
Yeah.
blustery American type. So I watched it subbed.
Yeah.
Have you watched both?
I'm more familiar with the dub. I like Michael Keaton.
Okay. I should check it out dubbed again, I think. This is a total aside, but usually when I'm watching movies for the podcast, I'm watching and I can jot down a note. But when you're watching a subbed movie, got to pause and make notes. So it actually took me like 2.5 hours to watch this 84-minute movie.
So we meet Curtis.
We meet Gina. Everyone, all of these rough pirates shut up and swoon over Gina the singer.
They're respectful towards women. They may be like bloodthirsty pirates, but they're respectful towards women.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, everyone in this movie kind of shows that same trait. Everyone is very...
Yeah. I mean, like, Porco's kind of like classically sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He doesn't think women should work.
Yeah, and he gets proven wrong about that.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
He's not like adamant about it, but he's just like, dang, I'm not sure. Whatever.
Yeah,
what can you do?
He's from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
He has a certain way of thinking.
Yeah, that was when women wearing pants was scandalous.
Right. And not just in Europe or Japan or what. World War II was kind of the point where all these women had to go to work in factory jobs, and that was a big point of adjustment for a lot of men coming back from war.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, the job I was going to take, my wife is working, and she's not just waiting for me,
Yeah.
Came up on another podcast I was listening to earlier today, actually. As he's landing at the hotel and you see the plane coming into dock, that was just a point where I took the note, like, such impressive animation. It's just so beautiful. Every shot, very intentional.
I
very
think
beautiful.
that's a sign of like great animation, where you can just see such a simple action and think that's magic.
Yeah,
there.
It's
like,
gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And I love, like we talked about, the hotel is an oasis. Everyone leaves their fights at the door. Everyone swoons over Gina.
Yeah.
I love when she's talking to Porco, and she's the only one who calls him Marco.
Yeah.
And the whole, maybe
everyone else just calls him like the pig or something.
Right, because even
Porco,
the plane builder guy, I forget his name, Piccolo. He even calls him Porco, right?
Yeah.
Like no one calls him Marco except for Gina.
Yeah.
And she says she lost 3 pilot husbands already. One confirmed like that day that she was waiting on for.
She definitely has a type.
Yeah. It's good that she seems to have finally learned to just wait for the pig and hope.
When pigs fly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the true symbolism or theme of this.
If this movie had a tagline, I don't remember if it did, but if it had a tagline, it would be "When Pigs Fly."
Right. I couldn't find a tagline, and that would probably be, if that was the tagline, it would be the best one of any movie that we've watched, except for Rush Hour. There's also the quote where he and Gina are kind of reminiscing, and he says, "The good always get killed," and they toast to comrades.
Yeah.
That's the first glimpse into his self-hatred.
Yeah.
He thinks he's not good because the good always get killed. He says he hates the picture on the wall where he was still a human.
Yeah, he scrubs out his face.
Mm-hmm. And she tells him, "I wish I could release you from that spell." Only he can release himself, it seems.
Yeah. That's you gotta like let go of that self-hatred.
Right.
You gotta learn to let people love you. But that's a very hard spell to, very hard curse to cure.
Mm-hmm. After this, he goes and we get some more really beautiful shots while he's flying after leaving the hotel, and we get some glimpses into fascist Italy at this point.
Yeah.
Everywhere when he goes to the city, everywhere he goes, you see soldiers or guards kind of staring at him sideways.
Yeah. Telling the captain that like, oh, it's Porco. We gotta like report this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kind of get the hint that he's persona non grata, and there's people cheering as the tanks roll down the street. But
you get the feeling throughout this movie that like this romantic world is kind of coming to an end. Mm-hmm. It's very much kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In that all this like magic and wonder and romanticism, it's all falling away to the modern age.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the track that plays after Porco leaves the Hotel Adriana is called Bygone Days. And that plays later on in like the movie. it's the end of high adventure.
Right.
It's the hailing of the new modern world that doesn't really have time for such silly ideas of the debonair swashbuckler.
Right. Or even just the kind of small island or coastal life that he's passing through in all these small places. Like later on when he's like explaining to Theo, like, depression has kind of come for this area. Everyone's desperate. Everyone's doing what they can.
Yeah.
In an area that was...
The money's not even worth the paper it's printed on.
The paper is printed on. Yeah. And you get the vibe that it wasn't like that too long ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a recurring theme as well. The machinations of the world kind of steamrolling the peace, the good, the simplicity.
Yeah. Just the fun.
Yeah.
Sucking the fun out.
And as he's going through town and we see, like I said, the guards kind of casing him everywhere he goes to pick up a repaired machine gun, and there are a bunch of really good quotes in this small scene between him and the machinist and his assistant. The old machinist laughing and saying, maybe the government will change again.
Yeah. Laws
don't apply to pigs.
Yeah.
We're not fighting a war out here. And then the kid asks, how is war different from bounty hunting? And the old man says, war profiteers are villains. Bounty hunters are just stupid.
You know, in the English dub, it's actually different.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah. So he says that, like, if you make money off of war, you're scum. If you can't make money off of bounty hunting, you're an idiot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that better. It's funny how that happens in translation.
Yeah.
But still, great scene that really just like punches you in the face with like the points this movie is making about like war is terrible, war profiteering is even worse than war, and Porco is...
And bounty hunters are sick as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of movies get that right.
Yeah, I mean, Faye knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And one day we'll do Domino on this podcast as well, speaking of bounty hunters. Actually, the next episode, we will also talk about bounty hunters. So I guess that's the theme.
Yeah. This is the bounty hunter
spoiler
episodes, yeah.
Stay tuned. After he gets the machine gun repaired, we see the pirates banding together to attack a big ship. I love that they immediately cannot help but infighting.
Yeah.
They just like start going at each other's throats. Like, you go first.
You go first. No, hey, if one of us gets damaged, we're all sharing the cost of repairs, right? No, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Just immediately turn on each other.
And get some wings.
Yeah, right. I also love that the other pirates are making fun of the I forget their name, the guys from the first scene whose plane is like rickety and like
the Mama Ayuda, that's what they're called.
Yeah, and they didn't even paint the part that they were able to fix after the last fight with Porco, and everyone's just making fun of it. And it is cool how like stylized all the planes are.
Oh yeah, it's like a flying circus.
Yeah,
which is actually a World War I unit led by the Red Baron. But I digress.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
The ship that they're attacking has two of their own fighters that attempt to help.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, they fend off the pirates briefly up until, like, Curtis shows up.
Mm-hmm. And Curtis lives up to the name, and Porco's plane is falling apart.
Yeah.
There's oil leaking in his face as he's trying to make it to this scene, and he doesn't take any of the bait. Just laughs at everybody, and he's like, cool, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Have fun with your scheme. It's fun, like we were talking about Curtis being the prototypical American. Like, of course, he's from Alabama. Like, that's probably one of the states that...
I thought he was from Texas.
Yeah.
Or I guess, like, any deep South state works. Right. Yeah. Mississippi, Alabama.
Yeah.
Good old state of Georgia.
Yeah. So Curtis takes advantage... Well, I mean, he doesn't really know he's taking advantage of the disrepair of the plane, but he takes out... He believes he takes Porco out.
I think it's very ballsy to think that you killed a woman's supposed lover and then go up to that woman and then say that, like, oh, do you love me now?
Yeah, right. Yeah. He doesn't have great strategy with the women, but he is determined.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Give him that.
A little bit of whiplash when he sees a new one, but Porco hides the very damaged plane just enough for Curtis to think that he won. And this is where we get into Act 2. Which I called, I didn't even say Act 1. What did I call that? The Cursed Ace. That was what I called Act 1.
That's a nice title.
Because we're establishing who Porco is. And when we were in the setup, we were talking about how it slows down. There's this point of kind of changing course from this setup of Act 1 into Act 2.
It's the Dagobah scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great example. Man after my own heart with all these Star Wars references. My usual co-host hates Star Wars.
I kind of get the hatred, you know. As someone who loves Star Wars, I kind of get like why some people might hate it.
I understand.
Personally, I hate Star Wars fans.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah, after everything they did to like Jake Lloyd and all of that, like I don't think as a Star Wars fan, I'm looking right into the camera. As a Star Wars fan, we don't deserve anything. You know, I hope like Disney like ruins the next movie or whatever. Yeah.
Well, they've ruined a few things already in the universe.
They should ruin more.
Yeah, they should make more seasons of The Acolyte. Have you watched that?
No. I think they should make another holiday special.
Oh, that one I haven't seen.
Me neither.
I've heard that it's hilarious. I heard super weird and terrible.
I saw one clip and I got sick.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So anyway, Act 2 is named Repair, Reflection, and Rising Stakes. He heads to Milan. I think he gives word to Gina that he's heading to Milan.
Yeah, like he like informs her that like I'm all right. It's fine. Curtis is a lying dirtbag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American scum.
Yeah.
I think that's really the theme of this podcast. Americans are scum.
Yes. I'm looking at you, America.
Yeah. Straight down the camera.
Yeah.
That's going to be a reel. So he heads to Milan to get his plane repaired at Piccolo's, who he clearly has a lot of history with.
Yeah.
I kind of got the vibe that he's maybe from Milan because he knows this whole family very well. I wasn't sure if that was ever.
I think he's just like a regular customer.
Okay.
Like a best customer.
Because he knows the whole family. He flew
and the
with
3 old hags.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Did he fly with Theo's dad or one of the brothers of that family? Maybe.
I think like Theo's dad just is familiar with him.
Okay, I couldn't quite
because
on a single watch I couldn't quite figure out what the relationship was, but clearly he's very tight with this family.
Yeah, he's a regular.
Yeah, right. I'm sure.
Where everybody knows his name.
Yeah, in his line of work, you probably need a regular repair shop. So we meet Theo right away, the granddaughter of Piccolo. From
America, too.
Yeah, right. And she looks very Miyazaki coded.
Yeah.
very, very kiki.
She's very much like Miyazaki female protagonist.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I just like clocked it immediately. Despite not having seen other movies, I'm very aware of them. Like I've through osmosis, right?
She's very headstrong.
Yeah.
Headstrong and intelligent.
Very, very smart.
And passionate.
Very capable.
Yes.
That's what we come to learn very quickly. Even though, like you were saying, Porco is a little bit sexist, doesn't want her working on his plane, doesn't understand why she would at all. It doesn't occur to him as a possibility.
Like he wants Piccolo's sons to like work on it.
Yeah, and they're all away trying to find work because of the economic depression.
Yeah.
As Piccolo says, these days money isn't worth the paper it's printed on, as he's counting stacks of literally all of Porco's money.
Yeah. Porco has to like stay at the place instead of like what I assume he usually does of renting out a hotel.
Yeah, right.
You know,
no money for a hotel, just has to pay Piccolo, and that doesn't even cover it. He's still in debt to them.
Yeah,
because of the depression. And there's also, you know, the entire family, all of the women in the family also work there because the men are all gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really cool shot when we kind of get the first, like Porco and Theo meet when he first shows up a little bit, but their first kind of scene together in the drawing room where she's working on designs for the plane. There's a really cool shot of her like from the side at the drawing board with like crazy accurate designs because Miyazaki's a dork. And you can see like the boats puttering by in the canal. I just thought that was really striking.
It really makes the world feel alive. You know? Like how it would include people within the shot that didn't have to be animated, but are still included just to make you know that like there's a world that exists outside of this story. And
like I was saying, I caught on quickly that maybe not exactly every shot, but there is a cinematography to it where you could easily recreate you could create the same shot with people on a soundstage. Everything looks like there's a camera.
Yeah.
Like you're looking through a camera like any other movie, which I think is very, very cool, probably intentional.
Yeah.
I also love that he, you know, in the scene, he tells Theo he's going to let her work on the plane. He even tells her like, cool wing design,
Yeah.
and gives her a tip,
Yeah,
about
if you like put it a little more this
5 more degrees
Yeah.
or whatever. He tells her, don't stay up all night. Rest is important. And then there are still several times in this Act 2 sequence where we see her working at night, not listening to him, but because she just can't help herself.
Oh yeah, she's got that creative bug.
Yeah.
She's got an idea.
I wish that I liked my job that much.
Yeah.
I
mean, like with Theo, if she loves her job so much, she's not working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not how I feel about editing podcasts, I will say.
Yeah, that's why I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You're on a path on your own, buddy.
Yes. So, like I mentioned, the whole family works. We get this parade of women coming through to start working on the plane.
This is Juliana. This is Maria. This is
cousins, wives, sisters,
nieces,
grandparents. Grandma is there.
Yeah, and the 3 old hags.
The 3 old hags who are hilarious.
Yeah.
The crown.
Porcellino.
Yeah. And he just calls him Nona.
Yeah.
It's very homey.
Yeah, in the English dub, Porco greets him like, "Oh, you 3 old hags are still alive." Yeah, and like he says it.
I think he says that in the Japanese version too.
Okay,
I think he says I think he calls her grandma.
Yeah,
and says is like surprised that they're still alive.
Yeah.
We get a great montage of them building the plane, which I don't know how accurate it is, but it looks really accurate.
Yeah, I don't know much about plane manufacturing either, but I
imagine Miyazaki knows.
Yeah,
if his dad did it.
Yeah,
he was probably growing up in shops exactly like that.
Yeah,
watching the same thing happen.
Miyazaki has or Ghibli movies have like a really good talent of like making you and think you'd enjoy doing like manual labor,
right?
Like, oh, they're working the steamer, they're shaping the plane, they're like putting in the nuts and bolts or whatever. That looks like fun.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not.
No, it's hard labor, and you're not even paid probably because the economy is terrible.
Yep. That is true.
Yeah.
There's a cool shot amidst this too of him, Porco, walking down to the canal smoking a cigarette, and you can see Theo in the background in the middle of the night working at her drawing board again. I thought that was really cool. There's also, during this montage, Porco just sitting in the corner, like rocking a bassinet, presumably with a baby in it, and there's just a pile of spent cigarettes next to him while everyone else is working. He's just like kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
Kind of useless.
That baby's going to grow up with like lung cancer at 10.
They all did.
Yeah.
Nobody survived that.
It's going to have a voice like this.
Yeah.
Uncle Porky.
Yes. There's also a bit of an exposition scene. He's at a cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Meeting a friend who's Ferrari. Okay. Ferrarin.
Ferrari, like the car.
Yeah. Was this supposed to be Enzo Ferrari?
I don't think so. I think Ferrari is just a pretty common name in Italy.
Because did he fight World War II? No, he fought in World War I.
Because I think Ferrari was a car brand during this period still.
Yeah, it was founded in between World War I and II.
Yeah.
And then was mixed reviews on whether or not Ferrari was actually a fascist or if he was...
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, they changed sides in 1943.
Right, yeah. That should make everyone feel better.
You hear that, Italians? You're off the hook.
Tough day for Italy today. They just got eliminated from the World Cup for the 3rd consecutive tournament by Bosnia and Herzegovina. So sorry, Philip. I feel for you, my brother. Anyway, he's at this movie meeting his friend Ferrari, and there's this cartoon, kind of Mickey Mousey cartoon that they're watching, and the villain is a pig. Very apt.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to like the movie. I wonder why.
Yeah. This movie sucks.
Yeah. And we learned from Ferrari that there's a warrant on Porco. They want to seize his plane and arrest him. And he tells them, come back, join the Air Force. I can still get you in. You won't go to jail. And he says, better a pig than a fascist.
Such a good line.
Message.
Such a good line.
Ugo's not here to say it.
Yeah.
Message. Better a pig than a fascist. Also, when I told Ugo we were doing this movie, he said, I'm totally down for this to be an anti-fascist podcast. I'm not going to argue that. And aptly, the next scene, we see basically ice on his tail down the street.
Yeah.
We have the secret police tailing Theo, trying to get him. He whips the rental truck to get rid of them brilliantly and makes it back to Piccolo's basically just in time to get out of there before he gets arrested. There's a bunch of secret police setting up across the canal and around the other side of the shop, ready to come get him right as they're finishing the plane. And Fio has built herself a little cockpit for the jump seat, and they remove one of the guns because of a recurring joke that her hips are wider than they look.
She's got a big butt.
Does that come across in the dub as well?
Yeah. Fio specifically says that, like, oh, right, fine. We'll get rid of the machine gun. My butt is bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the Japanese, the sub was, my hips are wider than they look or something like that.
Yeah.
But then he does tell her that she has a surprisingly big butt later on a couple of times.
I feel for you, Fio. So do I.
I got a big head. It's a different kind of problem.
I got a metaphorical big head.
Yeah. That's good. So we get a very cool getaway scene, probably one of the best kind of action moments of the movie, as they roll the plane down into the canal and he has to learn to fly this brand new, differently engineered plane while trying not to hit a bunch of
boats. Got a new souped up engine.
The Ghibli motor. It has Ghibli printed across the top of the valve train.
So Ghibli actually is a specific term for like a North African wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also saw on Reddit that there actually was a plane maker called Ghibli named after the wind.
Yeah.
Didn't make a motor, so that is more of just like an Easter egg for the studio on that. But there's a lot of depth to that word.
It is a very layered movie.
Yeah.
It's like an onion.
Yes.
The chase through the canals.
The chase through the canals, and then Ferrari shows up to help them get away because the Air Force is going to have like a blockade, and so he's using hand signals, which I'm sure are also 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Didn't look it up, but I'm sure he helps them get away from where the Air Force is. And I'm curious if this was what it was in the dub, but as he leaves, he signs pearls before swine about Fio sitting in front of Porco in the plane.
No, he just asks, like, when did you start babysitting?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
He says he signed pearls before swine is the sub.
I think that's a little more clever.
Yeah. Super cool shot of him flying low to stay unseen, of like over the rolling hills. You see sheep like shooting by. The plane isn't like moving in relation to the camera.
Yeah,
but the hills are all coming by. It's super cool. That was probably my favorite shot.
And you know that like a ton of people like broke their hands doing that.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No digital media on that one.
Yeah. I commend you, animators of all stripes.
Indeed. Shout out, Grace, you're probably not watching this, but you're the person I thought of just now because your drawings are awesome. My next note, I think, must have been during the Gina's Garden scene, because all I wrote is thirsty ass Ronald Reagan ass American. It's like, oh yeah, that's when he's like, they're making a movie. I'm going to be in it. You can be in it too.
Yeah. Come back with me to America.
Yeah. Because he's like,
give Curtis a little more credit. He's a little more. He has more character.
At this point, not
Reagan.
So much.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, yeah, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
But at this point where he's like, come back with me. I love you. I just met you, but I love you. I'm going to be an actor, and then I'm going to be president. I was like,
right, also, I killed your boy.
Yeah. Exactly. And she's just like, nope.
Yeah.
I love the pig.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait here and hope that he comes back. And there's also a cool flashback of them as, I'm guessing, teenagers flying the Adriano plane.
Man, that's such a cool first date. Imagine, like, you can't do that anymore, mainly because, like, planes aren't exactly, like, that same novelty.
Right.
I don't know. Just, like, imagine, like, planes were just invented. Mm-hmm. Now, suddenly, a whole world has opened up to you, and you decide to take your first date on, like, such a pioneering thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wonder if it was, I'm sure there's the internet for this, but I wonder if it was more, I'm sure it was more accessible to own a plane. I'm sure it was still expensive.
Yeah.
But there was probably a way to build some of it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like, the Orville brothers or the Wright brothers, you know, they built out of their bike shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe that's Porco's origin story. His dad owned a bike shop, and that's why he built the Adriano, the plane that matches the name of the hotel.
Oh, of course. I don't know how I didn't catch that.
I mean, I was looking for stuff because first time watching it for the podcast. First time watching it and also for the podcast.
Yeah. This is my third time watching it, and I didn't really catch that. I feel like a fraud.
So then we cut to Fio and Porco flying together and talking. And another cool shot that I loved when Theo asks Porco if he loves Gina. You can see her in the jump seat talking to him. You can also see her in the viewfinder of his little telescope that's mounted in front of him. Just
it's a nice
cool
detail.
artwork.
Yeah.
Cool illustration.
Yeah. It's a sign that like someone cared.
Yeah. And this is where I was saying we get a little bit more of the depression, the economic depression. They stop for fuel and food and drink and kind of get what Theo thinks gouged for price on the fuel. And he's kind of a lot more sympathetic to the people than she is. He's just like, everyone's doing whatever they can. Yeah. Everyone is poor. The depression has really come for this area. And in the sub, the quote is, "Farewell to days of fun and freedom in the Adriatic." I'm not sure.
It's the exact same in the dub, yeah.
And it's perfect because that's the last thing either of them says before they roll into his oasis.
Yeah. Something else. I'm not sure if this was in the sub, but like one of the guys at the like little gas station, he asks, when he says that line, he asks like, "Oh, is that Shakespeare?" And like Porco says, "No, it's Porco."
Yeah, it's Porco. Yeah. Yes, that was there. So I guess it's not the last thing that's said, but it's the last
with it.
It's the last point that's made before they roll into the oasis and find it full of pirates.
Yeah,
and farewell to days of fun and freedom, and then his literal oasis is spoiled.
Yeah, I like how they all hid in one tent.
Yeah, right. All these guys. And this is where we get back to what you were saying. Everyone in this movie, regardless of if they're a pirate or not, very reverent, respectful towards women.
Yeah.
Theo works this entire group of pirates.
Yeah.
Like putty.
Yeah.
She's just like, what are you? You're just gonna kill him? Like, what good are you?
Yeah. I thought you guys were like all about honor and like, I thought you guys were cool.
My dad told me these stories about these heroic pilots of the Adriatic, and you guys are bums. Yeah, and it totally works.
Believe this, yeah,
and
they all respect her for it. She insults them,
and they love her for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Everyone loves Theo. I love Theo.
Yes, she's an excellent character. Yeah. She's very much the foil to Porco's self-hatred, isolation.
Yeah.
She's this youthful, optimistic, hopeful, unspoiled by the last war. Like she was a baby during the war. She gets this, well, I mean, she won't because World War II, but ideally, she thinks like, there is this future. There's this great thing.
I mean, like later on, well, I guess we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, I think it obviously kind of melts his facade a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool how she, just being herself, being confident, young, hopeful, just
headstrong.
Yeah. Headstrong. Yes. Very much so. Not taking shit from nobody.
Yeah. She's a strong, independent woman.
Yep. And she believes in Porco so much that as soon as Curtis starts simping for her, all of a sudden, the stakes are established. I'll marry you if you can beat Porco in a fight, and if you lose, you have to pay off his debts to us.
Yeah. And she also like kind of scolds herself because like she's like, "Dang it, we should have like padded the bill."
Yes. Yeah. Should have added to it. Yeah, she's great. More. She has no doubt.
That's American money too.
Yep. Theo's father flew with Marco because she says that she heard the story of him diving off of a cliff to save an enemy pilot that was shot down from her father. The most important part of this scene where she wakes up and he's at his table is that for a moment, the pig face isn't there when she wakes up.
He's human for like one brief moment.
And as soon as she says something to him, it's back.
Yeah.
We never really get confirmation, but it really feels like he's cursing. The look is a curse that he's putting upon himself.
Yeah, it's that someone's perceiving me.
Yeah,
therefore I am a pig.
Yes.
Yeah, I am not worthy to be seen as a human by other people.
Yeah,
except only in my most private moments.
Mm-hmm. And he agrees to tell her a story, and this is the war story that you were saying earlier in the podcast, where his best friend Berlini had just married Gina, and he was the best man, and they get in a dogfight and everyone's dropping like flies and everything goes white.
Yeah. Something I like about the story was that like we don't see or hear like any bullets flying. We just see planes like burst into flames and stuff like that.
Because I guess that doesn't matter. It's the it's the outcome. It's never about the battle.
Yes.
It's about lost friends and loneliness, really. And feeling like he should have taken me instead, the classic kind of survivor's guilt. He wakes up after this vision, says he's flying just above the waves, and says, at least in the sub, curious to hear if this translates as well, God was telling me to fly alone forever.
In the dub, I believe Porco says that, like, I think it was God telling me that hell is being a pig, or like something like that. I can't remember exactly. For some reason, it's like jumbled up in my head.
So after he tells Fio the story, she finally goes to sleep. We get to Act 3. The duel and quiet resolution is what I called it. Everyone gathers on this island, a big crowd of the scum of the Mediterranean, basically, pirates and the like.
If that's the scum, that's pretty nice scum.
I know, they're all dressed nice. Yeah. They got their nice boats out. Yeah. Everyone's being civil.
No one died.
Yeah, even the greasy boss guy is like, Fio, I showered. Everyone's all dressed nice. Everyone is there to enjoy the duel between Porco and Curtis. They agree that there are really no rules to this. It's just last man standing. And everyone remains super polite to Fio, got her a chair, fawning over her, and not in a creepy way.
Yeah.
Curtis is the only one who's like a little bit creepy towards the 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
But all of the pirates love her in a very reverent, like not almost a little sister kind of way.
Yeah.
Maybe a little creepier than little sister, but not fully creepy.
It's like a Joan of Arc thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Joan of Arc actually historically had like a similar effect upon like a lot of the French soldiers were like murderous, serial killers or whatever. But when they were like, oh, it's Joan of Arc, we got to behave. We got to be in our best behavior.
Right.
Yeah, that's a saying right there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
They also take a group photo before it all kicks off that really made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Excellent. All the guys crowding around Fio.
And then like the Mama Ayudo boss beating them all up right before the picture is taken.
Just to photobomb, take it for himself.
Yeah, that's a funny thing.
So I
was going to say something else, but probably not.
The guys load into their planes for the duel and take to the sky, and it's very clear immediately that Porco doesn't plan to kill Curtis. He's evading him, trying to wait until he can put 2 to 3 shots through his engine and win the duel. He doesn't. Nothing about this is. At no point does he ever want to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Even this guy who's been antagonizing him and tried to kill him in the first half of the movie. He's like, I'm good. I'm going to wait this out.
I think if Porco did die, there's a part of him that think I deserve this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fitting end for Porco Rosso.
But his code of honor, he doesn't want to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And Gina receives word that the Air Force is coming from Ferrari, and she goes to warn Porco. Curtis and Porco, their guns jam.
Yeah.
Out of ammo.
Curtis runs out of ammo, but Porco his gun actually jams.
Yes.
And they start just tossing shit at each other.
Yeah, that was really funny. They're just throwing stuff out the window at each other. And eventually they just land and decide to resort to pugilism to call back to a phrase from Young Guns. And they just start beating the shit out of each other.
I love that.
No one's dodging. No one's blocking it.
It's a whole slugfest.
And I think during the fight, Curtis says something to Porco about Gina loving him as well. And
she waits for you in that garden every single day.
Yeah. And you're just wasting it.
Yeah. But like Porco can't believe it. Like, what do you know about Gina? Gina doesn't love me.
Yeah. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe he can be loved. Thus the visage. But he does barely win the fight. They knock each other out.
Yeah. A little cross counter.
Yes.
A little Shida no Joe.
And right as Gina pulls up, and her presence seems to summon him back to consciousness. And by standing first, he wins. And his debts are paid off by Curtis.
Yep.
Fio is free to go about her life. I love Curtis's line to Fio. He says, "I hate that pig, but I like you. Go build some good planes."
Yeah.
Did that also in the dub come across similarly, at least?
I can't remember, actually.
And of course, everyone clears out before the Air Force gets there, just in time.
And Porco and Curtis team up to like distract the Air Force while everyone gets away. And Curtis's redemption.
Seemingly kind of team up from there on out. because the next thing we kind of get the narration from Fio of kind of how things turned out after that. She never saw Porco again. She went back to Milan and remained good friends with Gina, runs the plane company, but still visits the club. Curtis is a very successful Hollywood movie star. And then, of course, we get this last shot of the garden.
Yeah.
And she says, "Did Gina win her bet? That's our secret."
Yeah. And I kind of like how ambiguous it is.
I do too.
Yeah.
Never find out why he's cursed. Never find out if he manages to lift his own curse. That's another thing I didn't mention is when Curtis and Porco are going to their planes to distract the Air Force, it seems that Curtis sees his real face.
Yeah.
Because he says, "Wait, let me see your face. What did I just..."
Very, very briefly.
Yeah. And again, it's brilliant. So we never get that resolution of the curse. We never get the resolution of Porco and Gina.
I think a lesser movie decision would give us confirmation.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that they kept it ambiguous.
It's nice to leave some room, as J.J. Abrams would say, the mystery box.
Yeah.
Right? Let people make their own conclusions.
Yeah. And it forces the audience to engage and to, again, come to their own conclusions.
Right. Keep thinking about it. Like I watched it yesterday morning and I keep thinking about little things like, how do I think it ends?
Yeah.
All that.
What exactly is the curse? Why does it happen to him?
Right.
Yeah.
Something that Stranger Things also did well in their finale. This leaving a little bit of mystery to it, letting you fill into your own end of the story. And that is Porco Rosso.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant movie.
Great movie.
Absolutely beautiful, uplifting.
Yeah.
Powerful.
It's a very classic movie, I'd say. It's a very classic swashbuckling movie from the cartoon. It's also very Tintin-esque. Familiar with Tintin?
Yeah, a little bit. I haven't seen it, but I know what you mean.
But it's very European adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce a new segment that I did not tell you to prepare for.
Lay it on me.
And we're calling it Watch While. So watch this movie while blank, and I'll give you mine while you have time to think.
Okay.
So I'm going to say watch this while eating prosciutto with wine, if that's your thing, to really lean into the Adriatic vibe of it.
Yeah, like a nice white wine or something.
Or just watch it with a cup of coffee while cuddling on your dog at 6 a.m. like I did. And that was pretty cool too. What do you got? No prep.
I'd say like watch on a fine spring evening. So the birds chirping, the sun setting on the horizon, that whole joie de vivre kind of time.
I like that. Okay, another segment. We call this Poppenheimer. What's a movie that you would double feature with Porco Rosso? I'm going to say Hellboy, because they're the same movie.
Yeah. It's inhuman learning to love themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In a world not made for him.
Yeah.
Fighting Nazis. Fighting fascists.
Yeah. Yeah. I would follow it with another Ghibli movie, The Wind Rises, as I feel like both are kind of like meditations on aircraft.
Okay.
And like also of authoritarianism and fascism.
Awesome.
Maybe that's kind of obvious, but I think like that's a great.
There's nothing wrong with an obvious pairing.
Yeah.
I will probably watch that one next.
The English dub has Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, nice.
And Emily Blunt and what was his name? John Krasinski. No. The Jim from The Office.
Yeah, John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt's husband.
Yeah.
I love Emily Blunt. And
she's
John
great. I loved her in Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, whatever you want to call it.
And A Quiet Place. Edge of Tomorrow, I think, is one of my favorites. She's great in literally everything. There's a total tangent. One of my favorite limited series that I have had a really hard time finding other people that have watched it, called The English. And it's a Western on, I want to say, Prime Video. It is one of the best things I've ever seen.
The English?
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
I think it's 6-part limited series.
Yeah.
Very digestible. If you love the more gritty Westerns, True Grit, Silverado, it's right up that alley. But there's a lot about the relationships between like Native Americans amongst each other and versus the English.
I love Native Americans.
Yeah. It's so good. So good.
You mentioned Native Americans, I'll be there. What's the movie?
The English.
Limited series on
on Amazon Prime.
Prime.
Yes. Cannot recommend it enough. Emily Blunt is amazing.
Is Emily Blunt a friend of the podcast?
Absolutely.
Yes.
She is, forever will be, as is the other star of the show. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. I think it's Chasky Spencer. He is the male lead and is incredible. Anyway, did not mean for that tangent, but I'm out of segments. So, Mace, any takeaways, historical impact, personal impact, anything we didn't cover that you want to talk about with Porco Rosso?
I guess that it kind of fuels my desire for interwar period, like pulp novels and stories, stuff like, The Mummy. I heard Corto Maltese is actually like very good, but check that stuff out. I've been trying to get into Tintin recently. Just like, we need more adventure out there. Find more adventure, y'all.
Yeah, I think that is a great message to take us out. Find more adventure in your films, in your life.
Yeah.
Don't sit in front of a screen.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching the Black and White Cinema podcast, then sit in front of a screen. It's an excellent way to spend an hour or two.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I guess my big takeaway is kind of the message that we talked about several times is and it kind of speaks to why one needs adventure. It's very easy to withdraw oneself from the world because of all the things that are broken.
Yeah.
I think that's more true now than ever. It's probably universally true. I bet every generation has said, now more than ever, but it's very easy to withdraw. I find myself doing that quite a bit. But if you choose community and you choose love, you choose these going out, putting yourself at risk.
You let yourself be loved.
Yeah, there's a lot of beauty in the world that makes it worth participating in. So find adventure, find loved ones.
Let yourself be loved.
Be part of a community, whatever that is, whatever culture, whatever community fits you, and give yourself to it and let it heal you.
Yeah.
Because it's all we got.
It's all we got. We're all we got.
And with that remarkably uplifting moment of clarity, this has been the Black and White Cinema Podcast from the Creative Block in Seattle. If you enjoyed this episode, please, 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 please share it with a friend. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We love getting comments. I didn't have any viewer takes to read today, and I would like to have some for next time. So please let us know. Reach out. Thank you to everyone for being here. And if you found us for the first time, thank you a little extra. You obviously found us somehow. You can connect with us however you like. allmylinks.com/kev-n-oogie. Thank you to the actual friends of the podcast, Mark, Maseo at Marky Boy Productions and the Creative Block, Megan and Alec for our logos, and our Patreon members, Lisa, Eric, Webb, Philip, and Brian. And thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Revolution. Take care.